Hey folks, what's going on? Coach Gav here from TFW Kildare. So, yesterday a lot of people, well everyone in their leaving cert got their results yesterday. And today I want to talk to you a little bit about kind of where to go now that you've gotten your results. So, back in August of 2005 when I sat my exams, I had applied to do marketing up in DIT in Angel Street. Marketing was something that interested me an awful lot. And it was my first choice of my CAO. Now, I got the points for it, so the points total was 365. I got 365 in my leaving cert, and even though I got the points, I missed out on the course because I was 1 mark off a C3. So I needed a C3 in pass maths, plus the points required to get my spot on the marketing course in DIT. I didn't get it. I got the 365, but I got a D1 in pass maths. Okay? I went and had the maths paper checked and looked at, and it turned out my grade, I was 1 mark away, so I was 0.5% away from getting the C3. So it's a very fine margin between getting it and not getting it. And this video is more so about kind of how over the last 11 years, my life has gone in a direction that back in August of 2005, I had no idea. So this isn't really, oh, how well you did in the leaving. If you know you gave it your best shot, whatever you got then is the best you got. There's nothing to feel good, sad or bad about it. I gave it my best shot, I studied my hardest, I applied myself as best I could, and I got a fair result based on that. Because let me tell you this folks, life will give you what you put into it. If you put in a lot of genuine effort and you stick to your morals and stick to your values and stick to the person that you are, you will get out of it what you deserve, okay? And it might take a while for it to come to fruition, but eventually does, it all pays off. So I'm going to go through a little bit here of what's gone on in the past 11 years. And it's more so that the details don't really matter. What I want you guys to try and take away from this, or ideally what I'd like you to take away from this, is the idea that there is something going to happen for you either now or in the future that, it's coming your way whether you know it or not. Just because you got your course or you got the points you wanted doesn't mean you're destined for success. Just because you didn't get it doesn't mean you're not destined for success. The beautiful thing is right here, right now, you guys and girls are all in a position where you can control and influence your future. You can put in the time and the effort and the work to be ready to handle any situation that comes your way. You can read, you can do self-development, and there's a lot of books I'm reading now that, oh, I wish I would have read when I was younger. But I know reading them now has more of an impact. 10 years ago, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all these things weren't nearly as impactful as they are now. There are so many people out there creating a lifestyle and a life for themselves based purely off following their passion with a relentless pursuit that any of you could do. So just because kind of the traditional model of getting your college course or not getting it does or doesn't work for you, doesn't mean you can't have an awful lot of success in as well. So, but again, I want you to understand that kind of the very fine margins of how kind of life can go away for you. So, because you might have woken up this morning feeling a bit down or a bit sad or whatever, but this hopefully will provide you with some kind of relief. So again, I got the points, I didn't get the grades, I missed out on it by 0.5%, by 1 mark, okay? This is in August of 2005. Back in August of 2005, owning a gym was not on my agenda, okay? I was barely interested in fitness. My main connection with fitness was watching the wrestling and watching The Biggest Loser. And watching The Biggest Loser, and in particular watching Bob Harper, one of the trainers on it, kind of stoked my fires for wanting to help people with their health. I was big into doing work in the church and charity work when I was younger, so helping people was something that, came naturally to me, and it's something I found quite rewarding. I enjoyed it. TFW, Training for Warriors, I had no idea what TFW was. And thinking back 10 years, TFW was only 10 years old back then when I was in college. Staying in Ireland wasn't even an option for me back then. In my mind, I was working towards moving to the States. I would do my college course and I would move abroad and do some work there. So that was August of 2005. Then it came along to August of 2009 when I had finished my course. I did my 4 years in DIT. Over those 4 years, a lot of things happened. I met an awful lot of people, had an awful lot of experiences, an awful lot of highs, an awful lot of lows, okay? But when you piece them all together, it gave me a set of experiences, of lessons, of morals that, okay, you don't do that anymore, okay, this is something you enjoy doing, keep going to do it. So again, these are in no particular order. So I met Shane Micheletti through my time at college, and Shane qualified me as a personal trainer through the NTC up in Dublin. Shane has now gone on to set up his own qualification company, and Shane has, out of my 6 major qualifications, Shane has awarded me 4 of them. So Shane is my original mentor, he's the original coach for me, and he's my go-to guy for something as well. So I wouldn't have met Shane if it wasn't for that 1 mark that I didn't get. So straight away, that 1 mark, me not getting marketing, meant I met Shane, which meant my qualifications as a trainer have an awful lot of weight behind them. The standard's quite high to get to that as well. So now my lifestyle and my career as a trainer, because I'm operating off Shane's standards as my bare minimum, it means we're at a fairly high level. Then of course, I met my brother from another mother, Stu, I met my other brother from another mother, Kev, met Maeve, met all the guys and girls in college and DIT then as well, okay? And by meeting Stu and Kev, again, we went off, myself and Stu hit America for 3 weeks, then the 3 of us did America for 3 months back in the summer when we finished college. Met all these different things. Through meeting Stu then, I got involved with Bray hockey. Again, playing hockey was never my thing. Some of the guys may debate it's still not my thing, but it was only because I was visiting Stu one weekend. He was like, look, we're short numbers, any chance you can jump in? I was going, yeah, cool. Played my first game and fell in love with it instantly then as well. Then met all my teammates there, you know, Dave Mack, Coop, Chris, Keane / Andy Murray, all the guys as well, Collins, and you know, all those experiences for those 3 or 4 years playing hockey, you know, the camaraderie that was there, the experiences, the lessons, all those things that went on, all because I met Stu on my course, and I got on that course because of the mark that I missed out on. So, you know, your initial disappointment now can be overridden by the fact that, you know, you're going to meet people and do things that will set you up so much more for life as you go along. And then, of course, I went on and did Athletes Performance. Athletes Performance, US-based company, they're now known as Exos, and I'm pretty sure I pronounced that wrong, but I was big into American football, was really interested in it. Was really interested when Athletes Performance came over because they train a lot of the high-end college guys who go on to be high-end NFL and NBA players, okay? So I wanted to get involved with teams, and again, even at this stage I was still thinking I'm going to go to the States, so having this qualification would be really, really good for my future. Went and did that, and on that course I met Greg Bradley, and I'll come back to Greg in a couple of seconds. But over my 4 years in DIT, I met Julie Mantle, okay? Julie came back to talk to us as current students. Julie was an ex-student of the course I had done, and Julie had some part-time work on the go then as well for a company, Eventuality, an event management company. So I threw my hand up, and you know, Julie took me and a few of the others on board, and then I managed to somehow convince Julie to give me a full-time job or a part-time job throughout my 3 years in college. Over those years, I got to work at the Ryder Cup when it was on in the K Club, and that was a phenomenal experience, working with Julie and Dave and Les, Julie's dad, and you know, going through all those experiences then as well of how to deal. We were dealing with very high-end club, one of the main sponsors of the competition, and it was a hectic schedule and it was incredible buzz. And you know, again, I thank my mum and my family and my granddad for my work ethic and my beliefs, but definitely Julie was one of the people who definitely helped show me how to apply it in a different way, and how, you know, you can plan anything. And we're talking about doing events at all hours of the night as well. The Shelbourne Park one for Google was an adventure, to say the least. So again, like I said, 3 holidays stateside. I was finishing off my 2nd years of PT working in Jackie Skelly's. And then, so Jackie Skelly's made up 6 years. Let's go back a bit. Before I moved, when I first got qualified, I managed to get work with the college as a trainer in one of the gyms up in Dublin. I had a couple of hours a week, which was grand. It came to the summer and I was like, look, is there any more hours on the go? Because it wasn't worth my while in any definition of the term, travelling up to Dublin to go and to do that work then as well. And they basically said no, there wasn't any hours. So I still wanted to stay in fitness, and Jackie Skelly's were opening up in the town in Newbridge at the time. So I went and basically kind of applied, got the position, and over my 6 years in Jackie Skelly's, I was part-time, I was full-time, I was fitness manager. Then I went back, I took a step back, and I became half a kind of part-time trainer, part-time self-employed. Then I went full-time self-employed, and lastly I moved and got away from it. And through my years in Jackie Skelly's, I met a ton of lifelong friends, some of whom I'm still in touch with, some of whom I've lost touch with and will re-engage. Pat, Erin, Maddie, Lisa C, Potsy, Kieran, Corky, the list goes on. And I met an awful lot of people that I don't like as well. People who made my life pretty feckin' miserable. But in a way it was good, because I now know I don't want to associate with those types of people. And so it also gave me, you know, kind of a big insight into how big companies kind of work. And in the back of my mind I was kind of going, that was kind of the catalyst for wanting my own place. I was kind of going, there's a better way to do fitness than this. You know, there's more to it than this, okay? There has to be a better way to help people and to make a lifestyle, okay? And to pay bills and make a profit and all that kind of businessy side of crap, okay? So that was the first 4 years after doing my leaving. So even if the journey stopped there, that's an awful lot that went on between, you know, all because I didn't get that mark, because I got D1 instead of C3, all these incredible things happened in 4 years. Now, as time went on, well, you know, I met, you know, through working in the gym, I met Vanessa, and myself and Vanessa have a daughter together, Freya. So my daughter came directly, well, indirectly you could, not even, no, directly. As a result of missing out there, I met the woman who became the mother of my child. So I'm a father to a wonderful daughter, and I'm having that incredible experience, all because I got a D1 instead of C3. So again, you see all these experiences going along. And where are we now? So again, obviously there's a lot of stuff going on, and also I met Killian in Jackie Skelly's. Killian was my very first ever client, back when things were GC Fitness, and then it snowballed from there. So I kind of, without going to Jackie Skelly's, I wouldn't have met Killian. Without meeting Killian, I probably wouldn't have gone down the route of PT, or I wouldn't have gone down it the way I went down. Went, met Killian, and started off from there, and then it all kind of built on from that then as well. So I myself and Killian to this day are still really good pals, and so again, you can see where kind of back in 05, I had no idea who Killian was at all. But now again, unfortunately, because it's a Jets fan, but we can work around it. Then from 2010 kind of up to now, we're going to have to speed things up. At Athletes Performance, I met Greg Bradley. Greg Bradley is one of the owners, operators, creators of Black Box up in Belfast, formerly EFP Gym Equipment. So I met Greg at Athletes Performance, and then as time went on, Travis Jones from Australia was up in Dublin doing a one-day event. I knew that Greg knew TJ, I could see their connection through Facebook, so I messaged Greg saying, look dude, what's the story here? Is it worth my while? He was like, yeah, absolutely, go for it. So because I met Greg at the AP course, and then I got his referral, I went and did TJ's course. It was a one-day course. At that course, I sat 2 seats down from James Hanley, who I'll come back to in a second. But anyways, I met TJ at the course, and then started following TJ on Facebook, started kind of sitting in on his webinars and seminars and things like that. And then back in 2014, I think, or 2015, about 2 years ago. Yeah, 2014, TJ, Luca Hossover and Stephen Krebs came together, or they were working together as the pack. And then basically, the guys were in the pack, basically, they hosted Changing the Game over in Vegas. And they ran a competition, and I won my spot over at the competition. Going over to that conference for those 4 or 5 days in Vegas, I ended up meeting Mark Rooney, creator, owner, head coach of TFW. So without meeting Greg at AP, I wouldn't have asked about TJ. And without going to TJ's one-day event in Dublin, I wouldn't have been following on Facebook. I wouldn't have seen the Changing the Game event. I wouldn't have applied for the competition. I wouldn't have won my spot. I wouldn't have gone to Vegas. I wouldn't have met Mark Rooney. And I wouldn't be standing here today as one of Kildare, as the TFW facility in Kildare. Okay? All because I met Greg on that course that I was doing, because I became a trainer, all because back in my leaving in 05, 9 years earlier, I got a D1 instead of a C3. So just as a reminder, if you didn't get what you were wanting to get, don't worry, because whatever's coming, you know, you got what you needed for the journey that you're about to go on. And be excited about it, because you can steer it in so many ways, okay? And met TFW. Again, so at TJ's event in Dublin, sat 2 seats down from James Hanley. At the time, I thought James Hanley was a bit of an arsehole, purely based off his emails that I was getting every day and reading. I was going, Jesus, a bit of an arsehole. But then turns out when I actually got to know James is actually a pretty cool dude. And James was the very first guest speaker I had come down to the gym last year. And now again we're reasonably fairly pally. James has given me an awful lot of his time as advice, which has been greatly appreciated in terms of setting up a gym then as well. And like I said, when you get to know people, things go really well. So coming back a little bit further, Kev has played quite a role, probably more of a role than he realises, in me being here as a gym owner today talking to you guys. So Kev had his own plans of opening a gym up in Dublin then as well. His first plan fell through, but his follow-up plan actually opened the door for me to have an awful lot of progress in my life. Kev went off with Oisín and set up Compound Fitness up in Dublin. And Oisín at the time was working out of the Irish Strength Institute, the ISI, the place where Conor McGregor does a lot of the strength and conditioning. So up at Owen Lacey and John Connor. So Oisín then was leaving the ISI, which meant the ISI had a position come available. They advertised it, and I had been at a lot of their seminars and events, again because Kev was going to it. Kev is, it pains me to say this, Kev's a very well clued in, smart, well qualified, experienced trainer. So not only as my pal, but also as trainer, he has all of my respect. So Kev was going to these events. I wanted to get as good as Kev was, so I went to those events too. I met Owen, I met John, kept going to their events, kept following their emails, applied for the position in the company when it came up, or up in the gym, and that position came up because Oisín and Kev were setting up business together. So, by the grace of God, I got the position in the ISI, and I made the move from Jackie Skelly's up to the ISI in Dublin. While up in the ISI for just over a year, I found out about Paul Mort over in the UK, or Morty, as more commonly referred to. Started following Morty online again, following his emails, reading his stuff, getting to know all his different kind of his marketing. Morty teaches marketing for fitness as well, among other things. So got to know Morty, and Morty again is much like Shane and Stu and Kev. Morty has played a huge role in me being here today, both as a trainer and as a person. So met Morty, and then through Morty I found out about Chris Burgess, and Chris is someone who is he's a new tool I've added onto my kind of fitness journey now as we're progressing on, improving my education as a trainer, improving the services we provide here. And I wouldn't have known about Mr. Burgess if it wasn't for Morty and Morty's podcast that he was doing at the time then as well. So this is a new person coming on a new journey. But speaking of new people and new journeys, back at Change in the Game, I met Fatch from the UK, met Matty Carlin, my Ruby, down from Oz. And again, so all these people that I met that now make up my inner and slightly wider circle of associates and people that I refer to for help and support and business and for general having a crack as well, all became about because I went to CTG, because I won my spot, because I met TJ in Dublin, and I went because of Greg's referral, because I met Greg at AP and I kind of respect the guy and respect his opinion, and I went to AP course because I ended up being a trainer, because I got a D1 instead of a C3. So as things went on as well, obviously throughout work then as well, you know, again, a lot of stuff was work-wise here, but because of being a trainer, I met Emily, who we, again, longest relationship, so again, kind of, you'll meet people you fall in love with, things like that. And like back here in 05, moving out, moving in, you know, all these different experiences that go along as well. So I met Emily, and then we had 3 years, we did the house together, all that kind of stuff. And then, so all these things all happened because of it. And over the years, basically, I've met people who have supported me, I've met people who have screwed me over, both directly and indirectly. I've met people who have lifted me up time and time again. I've met people who have knocked me down time and time again. And all these experiences have come together so that on this date, in this moment, I am who I am, and I've learned what I've learned. And you know, my plans for the future have all been formed and crafted based off of all these experiences going along here now. And I can honestly say, standing here now, talking to you on this day, I'm maybe 80-90% living my dream at the moment in terms of, you know, I'm very fortunate. I'm in a career and I'm in a job that I love. I get to impact and influence a lot of people's lives, and thankfully I'm doing it on a very successful scale now, and it's growing and it's moving forward. But for a time it wasn't then as well, okay? I've learned an awful lot about kind of myself as a person, as a father, as a brother, as a son, as a boyfriend, and all these different experiences again. And all these experiences came because of a D1 instead of a C3. So again, and there's loads of stuff I'm forgetting here. I've coached Leinster hockey twice over the years. It's a phenomenal experience as well. Been abroad on holidays, been abroad on different trips as well. Sitting on different seminars, talking to different people, TJ, Liv, Calvin Coyles, and for all the good experiences I've had, we've got even my bad experiences then as well, and just, you never know what's going to come down the line. So be excited about the future, because now you're moving into you have so much freedom that's going to be available to you when you go on. You can pursue stuff that has your interest. I did business, economics and home ec, Irish, German, maths, English in my leaving. I don't use my Irish anymore. I will start to when Frey goes start school in a couple of weeks. Maths, I barely use it. Economics, barely use it. Business, I kind of use it. Home ec, barely use it. So all these things that back in my leaving cert were so important to me, they played very little of a role in my life. So as time goes on, and like I said, you guys now have access to so much more information out there that it's incredible. You have an incredible experience, an incredible journey ahead of you. Make the most of it. And just, the biggest thing I suppose would be, because if you've been following the page for a while, you'll know that the first 6 months of this year weren't exactly great for me. Personally, professionally, all those areas. We hit a bit of a rough patch. So kind of learn from people ahead of you, if you follow your passion. Follow your passion, follow with endless enthusiasm. But if you're doing something and it's not working, always look and see, am I putting in enough effort? Am I going about things the smartest way possible? Take risks for sure. Take calculated risks. Do your groundwork, do your study, do your research. Okay, what will I need to do for this to succeed? So instead of kind of going, this won't work, you never know. Because I was very unassuming when I was younger, and all these things happening, I had no idea. I had no idea at all. And now again, I'm facing into, again, and kind of like I said, my future with TFW is very much kicking off. I'm only starting my second year, going into my third year with them now. We'll be 2 years in business come September. End of September, we're 2 years open as a gym then as well. And it's hugely exciting as well. So whatever you pursue, and if you got the points and you get the course you wanted, and that means you end up pursuing a career you wanted, awesome. That is absolutely awesome. And if you didn't get the points you wanted and you end up on a course you weren't mad on, you're on that course for a reason. Maybe you're meant to do that course so you go and meet people that open doors for you down the line in the future. Get excited about your future. Look at it from a positive point of view then as well. There's a lesson in every situation. And most importantly, go and enjoy it. Go and enjoy life. Because at the age of 29, I look back and all this stuff seems like it only happened the other day. But it did. It happened 11 years ago. Okay? And, find out what's important to you. If family are important, make sure you prioritize that then as well. And yes, your bills need to be paid and you need to make money to have experiences in life. But don't, try and minimize how often you have to compromise how you are as a person. Okay, so make the right choices, make smart decisions, be yourself, be honest, and try and not screw people over in business and in life. You will upset people. Don't worry about being perfect, just worry about making the most effort you can as you go along. I'm going to stop there so I don't ramble because it's time to go and collect my little one. Have a great day, guys. Congrats on your results, whatever you got, make the most of it, enjoy it. And coming from a guy who got 365, we're doing fairly successful as well. So just because you got high points doesn't mean you're destined for success. Doesn't mean you got low, or just because you got low points doesn't mean you're not destined for success. And the beauty is there's no limit on success in life. Everyone you're in school with can go and be successful if you put in the work. There's no one stacking the deck against you. It's just you. Whether you put in the work or you don't, you make the effort. The more days and the more times and the more situations you make an effort to get a result, either the result you want or the result you don't want. Let's say you get the result you want, awesome. You now know that this approach works for you. You get the result you don't want, or you don't get the result you want. Then you know this process doesn't work. So you don't do that again. I now know there's certain ways I can't behave as a person because that results in me not getting things I want. That's life. I now know as a business person, I can't operate the business a certain way because it leads us to a bad result for the business. It's all life, it's all lessons. Enjoy it, take care of yourselves, God bless, bye.